Hey, my name is Will Moore and I'm going to talk to you about how I write for acoustic guitar. This is the third video that I've made on how to write for fingerstyle guitar, and obviously that implies I don't have one approach to playing or writing. I really like to come up with different ways of writing for each song, or different ways of arranging as well, so that it just feels like it's coming from a different place. It feels fresh. It doesn't feel like the same old patterns repeating themselves. Speaking of same old patterns, one of the things I do, and a lot of fingerstyle guitarists do, to really broaden the scope of their guitar is to change tuning. When you're in standard tuning, these same old chord shapes come up again and again, even these kind of bar chord shapes. You get very stuck with those chords and it's easy to just try and write around the same old patterns and everything ends up sounding the same. So today I'm going to talk to you about one of the open tunings that I use. I'm going to use open C tuning. This is probably my favorite tuning, and I think the kind of most flexible for doing different things with. So let's start by just getting into that tuning. I'm in standard tuning right now. We're going to keep the E string the same. That's going to stay on E. Your B string is going to come up to C, so a half step or a semitone. Your G is going to stay the same. And then the three bass strings, they're all going to drop a whole step or a whole tone. I said a whole step, didn't I? So the E is actually going to drop two steps down to C. So we've got C, G, C, G, C, E. So there's just one string that gives you the third in there. So if you drop out that string, you've just got 1 and 5s the whole way through. If you don't know music theory stuff, don't worry about that. But yeah, you've got a whole C chord. Now, one of the great things about that is that you can just lay a finger on and you've got a new chord, which is great for just finding chords if you don't know how to use open tunings. It's good for slide guitar. I've not got a slide, but you get the idea. It's good for songs that do a lot of power chords. About open C tuning makes me want to play Nirvana. And then the second thing I love about it, so the first thing is just that it's easy to find chords. The second thing I love about it is that because you've taken the treble strings up very slightly, the B has gone up to C, and you've taken the bass strings down quite a long way, you've got this bigger gap between the strings, a bigger distance between the pitches, which means this really rich, broad sound. So you get this huge grand sound. So yeah, I'm loving the fact that you can find chords easily. I'm loving the fact that you've got this big pitch range between the strings. And then my third and probably my most favorite thing about this tuning is that you've got octaves all over the place. So here's a C, and here's a C, here's a G, and here's a G. Here's a C, and here's a C. And then you don't have an octave going to the E string because you'd have to fret the third to get your octave G there. But all those octaves means that you can do octave-based riffs, or even non-octave-based riffs, just single note riffs in octaves really easily. Normally in standard tuning, you've got your fingers a couple of frets apart, not so easy to jump around in octaves. Right here, you just have to fret a couple of strings apart on the same fret, which makes this kind of thing possible. Okay, so you've got really easy octaves for jumping around. Another one I do in that key. I don't think I'd attempt that in standard tuning. So yeah, really nice and easy to find your octaves. You can even get a triple octave here. And I use that in my arrangement of Sir Duke. So up there I've got 3 octaves. And by adding the extra octave, It gives you the illusion of getting higher and lower, and actually again expanding the range of the guitar, at least to the ear. So yeah, that's another thing I really like. One thing that's good about any change of tuning is that you can take your chord shapes, your same old standard chord shapes that work in standard tuning, try them out in these open tunings, and you realize you're getting some different sounds, some kind of funky sounds that you didn't really intend, but you know, they can be the genesis of a new idea. So yeah, certainly this open G tuning has really worked well for me. You get a lot of really nice voicings, just very simple. You know, I've got 2 fingers on the guitar there, and this big rich sound just from very simple chord shapes. So yeah, easy to find chords, loads of octaves, big pitch range, and an opportunity to try out some same old shapes that you're used to, but get some very different results. Means that this is a really helpful tool for starting to write new material. Other tunings are really good for that as well, and I will do some other videos based on that. But Open C, as I said, that's one of my favorites. Thank you so much for watching. I will give you some other ideas for starting out writing pieces for solo guitar pretty soon. In the meantime, go and check out my other videos on YouTube, and I'm on all social media as well. Type in Will Moore Guitar on Google. You will find me. See you soon.